Hey guys, it is Cthulthu here. It is time for part 3 of this 4-part video. However, unfortunately, I did somehow manage to delete part 3 of this video. So I'm having to re-record this part as well as part 4 pretty much, because you never know where I'll end up when I'm recording this. So I thought I'd just do the last 2 parts again. I'm also having to do this 5 days past the initial recording, so the figures are just slightly different in terms of whatever the value of the items are, obviously with 4 or 5 days of grand exchange updates, but also then just a bit more farming and a bit more, well, resource collecting, I guess. Not too much though, because I haven't been playing that much over the last 5 days. So I know that we left off at the seeds last time, the first part of the seeds, but now we're going into the herb seeds. I know that because I had to quickly watch the video before making this, because well, I had no idea where part 2 finished basically. So yeah, we've still got a ways to go, and I know that this will take at least another 2 parts. So here we go then. Herb seeds first of all. So there we go. So 6.6 mil in Lantadyme herbs, 3.3 in dwarf. What else is there? The Irit seeds I need to get rid of at some stage, because that's just a waste of bank space. 0.5 mil in Toadflax and 1.1 in Torstals. Wouldn't be surprised if this had gone up recently, given that Toadflax seems to be worth a hell of a lot more, as does Saradomin Brew for that matter. But yeah, all in all, 12.7 mil, I think it says. One thing I'm going to do in this video, because after having feedback for the first part 2 of parts of this video, I don't even need to tell you that I'm doing this, because I would have done it, but I will have hopefully zoomed up on this price check so that it's easier for you to see now. But yeah, and one thing to explain actually, Lantadyme seeds, and also for that matter, I guess Lantadyme herbs? No, not Lantadyme herbs, just Lantadyme seeds. These are not naturally received. These are seeds that I've had to buy off the Grand Exchange. But what I do is every time I buy, let's say, 100 Lantadyme seeds, I then take whatever that equivalent amount of cash is out of this tab. So obviously I take it from the top, from the cash pile. And once again, that cash pile is just, you know, made up of big drops that I've decided to sell rather than keep, basically. So we're now going into the herbs, and this is going to be worth a hell of a lot. In fact, I would probably say that this is easily going to be the most expensive tab. I say easy actually, but I would say that it's just more than the ore segment that we did, because the ore segment came up at 350 mil, and this shouldn't be too far off. Well, not too far off. This should be, I would say, probably around the 400 mil mark, if 450 maybe. But we're going to have to see. Also, one thing to note, so part of the cash pile that you saw above is actually a bit of money that I made by selling some of these items temporarily for bonus experience weekend. One of the most profitable trades that I made was Lantadyme herbs. They were about 7k at the time, but then on the bonus experience weekend they were selling at 10k each. So I sold them all at 10k each, and I rebought them at about 6,300 each. And now they're worth 5,900. So awesome! It was a huge score basically. I mean, when I started farming, they were always worth about 10k each, and then unfortunately, there's just been this gradual decline. And so you could have said that I would have lost therefore, you know, 4k on each of these herbs. But fortunately, I had the foresight to do that bonus experience weekend trade, and I've ended up not losing much on these Lantadyme herbs. If anything, I only lost 400 per, which is not a bad loss at all. So yeah, I haven't lost anything on these grimy Lantadymes. It's just most of the money is now represented in just actual cash. But there we go, 354 mil in the Lantadyme herbs alone, and that is basically the ore category altogether, without even including these other ones. But let's see, we've got Toadflax at 4.3, we've got Raynar at 1.6. So Toadflax again was one of those items which I sold for bonus experience weekend and bought back. Avanto again, another one of those herbs that I did, 11.8 million. Irits I did as well, 4.3 mil. Cadentine as well, 4.3 mil. I did that one as well. Basically, I did all the high value ones. So Quorum I definitely did at 5.4 mil. So yeah, again, all these might be priced lower than they were back for bonus experience weekend, but I made that cash by selling them at the right time and then buying them back. And then there you go, 17 mil grimy dwarf weeds. In fact, one thing I should mention is every time I run out of Lantidime seeds and I can't buy them instantly on the Grand Exchange for med price, I'll just go through my dwarf weed seeds. So not all of those dwarf weeds are going to be pure and simple drops. Some of them might actually be from farming as well. But there we go, 400 and I think it was 13 mil. Well, I believe so anyway. It doesn't really matter, but a huge amount there. Then dragon drops. So dragon longsword, something that I've recently been getting as part of the Ring of Wealth update. And these dragon knives, they really should make these dragon knives more common. I mean, even if they were more common, people wouldn't usually. I don't think many people would use them at all. But still, I mean, to have killed about 2.5k muspers and only have one dragon knife drop is a bit ridiculous. I don't care how rare it's supposed to be, it shouldn't be that rare. But there we go, 7 dragon plate drops, 7 skirts as well, both at 1.1 mil, just a 2k difference. Dragon boots, I've stopped picking those up altogether. I only ever get them when I have to go God Wars for the Reaper task, and I just don't generally keep them at all. Usually there's a better item to replace it with. Even if it is food, I'd rather pick up food than keep the boots unless I have a yak on me, and even then again I use Steel Titan, so there is basically no opportunity in which I would keep a dragon boot anymore, which is a shame because, you know, they were awesome at one stage. 3.9 mil in maces from Muspers, so look at that, 140 maces and yet just one bloody dragon knife. Ridiculous. And I can't believe I've got all these dragon daggers. 2.8 million. To be honest, I can't remember collecting as many as this. This is ridiculous. 164 of them. Right then. Next one, rune drops. Now, rune drops, I don't know what this is going to be worth. Now, this is something that shouldn't change significantly since the last video. And when I say last video, I mean the last whole bank video. And that's simply because of Spring Cleaner, of course. So most of my rune items have been shredded back down into their ingredients. So their primary ingredients. So I shouldn't really have gained that much. But regardless, I can't really remember what this is worth to me. So we'll have a good look at this. And rune battle axes is something that I've been getting a hell of a lot more of. Again, not in terms of just pure drops, but in terms of things that have then gone through the Spring Cleaner. There we go. And in fact, you know what, I've just remembered, because I actually redid this video, this part of the video, and now also the part 4 video as well. There is one little change I made. I made a change to the structure of the whole resource tab, so there's one thing I need to quickly go back to in a minute. We'll do it after this rune segment, but there we go, 4.4 mil in rune helms, altogether 73.4 mil. That is not bad at all. Let's see, where's the main wealth? It seems to be rune plate bodies, 477 of them, equaling 18.1 million. I'm trying to think where they've come from. I know that I get about 10 at a time from Araxor, but otherwise you get a lot from Celestial Dragons as well. But yeah, there's not a huge amount of NPCs that drop them, so I'm struggling to remember where I've got all of these. I guess probably a majority of them probably have come from Araxor, if not any other boss NPCs that maybe drop them. But otherwise, yeah, rune full helm 5.1, 8.2 million in rune chains, 15 mil basically in rune plate legs. And I guess that's about it. Rune battle axe 2.5 mil. What else have we got? We've got rune longswords at 3.4, 4.2 in rune spears. That's not a surprise. You get. If anything, I vividly remember getting tons and tons of rune spears from Erot, and yet even that number is not as many as the rune plate bodies, and that blows my mind to an extent. I can't for the life of me remember how I've got that many. Rune daggers 236. There was absolutely no doubt in my mind that if I didn't have a Spring Cleaner, this figure would probably be 2,000 to 3,000. The majority of rune drops I get are rune daggers from Abyssal Demons, and my god do they drop them often. Right then, now before we go into Addy, this is one of the things that I changed. It was the wines. I decided to move the wines, which we wouldn't have PC'd before, but I decided to move them up to food, which is where they basically belong. I mean, they could be construed as a herbal or ingredient, which they are, but also as a food item. I think they're food items. Actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, I don't think I can drink these, can I? But regardless, that's where I moved them to, temporarily perhaps now. But there we go, 70 mil. Now this is something I never told you guys about, but basically, as part of my herb run, I would also do coconuts, cactus spines, morchella mushrooms, and this, grapevine seeds. And I only did it because I got a ton of seeds really, really cheap. And basically, for those of you who don't know, the seeds are quite expensive. I think they're about 2k each now, and you need about 4 per patch. And so they're basically, for a trip, you use 16. And then you've also got to use planks as well, and it's 5 planks per plot as well. So the setup cost is quite expensive. But the reason I did it temporarily is because the seeds got really, really cheap during a stage where Elf City was released. And the guys in this area, I'm trying to highlight it with my mouse on the map. It's the area with the trees and the herb patch, basically the farming area. Those guys, you could steal grapevine seeds from them quite easily, and so their price rock bottomed basically, and so I took advantage of the situation, knowing that obviously the grapevines were still worth quite a lot, the Saradomin in particular. To be honest, I didn't go through them. I should have gone through them. I completely spaced out, but basically the Zammies are worth 3k. The Gothics, which if I farm these again, I wouldn't even bother making. I'd just get rid of them, but they're worth about, well, let me see if I can show you. There we go, 420 each. They're probably actually rising right now. And these are worth 14k each, and they're actually dropping, unfortunately. But Wine of Zamorak used to make the enhanced Saradomin brew. I don't think it's called enhanced, but it's just, well, it's the enhanced version of it. But there we go, 70 mil from about 2k seeds that I farmed in total. Can't remember exactly how many. And in fact, I've still got a few to go through. I've still got about 600 Zammy grapes and about 500 Saradomin grapes to go through. So there's more to come. I just have to find the... what have I done here? Have I accidentally... Yeah, I accidentally equipped one of the Addy items, I think. But I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But there we go. Let's see. Has anything come down here? Yeah, what was Rune Plate Bodies doing down there now? I have no idea how I managed to do that. Right then, Addy items. In fact, let me quickly check where I am now with the timer. Where is it? Right, I am coming up to 13 minutes, so not much time left. So, here we go. Addy items. Not going to be much. 2.2 mil. Should we really go through these? 673 in Addy plates. That's about it. Yeah, let's just move on. Addy not worth a lot. If anything, I just keep it there now as a placeholder, just so I don't have to keep going through them. Right, so battle staffs. Oh my god, I've been getting so many battle staffs from Araxor recently. I mean, I literally get 4 or 5 times a drop every 6 I kill. It's been ridiculous how frequently I've been getting them. They're good value as well, so it's not something I should be disappointed with, but still... you know, I wouldn't mind getting some rare drops from Araxor as opposed to the numerous battle staffs I've been getting. But there we go. 16 mil, does it say? Yeah, 16 mil in battle staffs. That's pretty awesome. And then 2.5 mil in cannonballs from Corporal Beast recently. And then a few battle staffs here and there. Most of the battle staffs are being instantly degraded by the spring cleaner into battle staffs, and the runes that are required to enchant them, and I guess the orbs as well. I'm not sure if I do get the orbs actually now I think about it, but I guess we'll come up to orbs sooner rather than later. Right then, I think I'm going to do one more, and I guess this is just kind of like miscellaneous crap that you can get from Slayer, though obviously not very many of them. In fact, again, some of these I might sell in the near future. Not the granite legs, because I'm going to Dagonoth Kings more often than not, so that's worth keeping hold of. In fact, should I get those seeds as well? The polypores? Yeah. These are worthless, but still, let's just include them anyway. I think they're 2 GP each, so it's about 100k, but let's just check that. Yeah, there you go, 100k. But again, another 2.2 mil. So 1.6 in steel plate bodies. I actually used a fair few steel plate bodies. I get them from Celestial Dragons, and I've used them on, well, making steel titans, basically. I didn't do it just because I felt like it. I mean, I think it's cheaper to just buy them off the Grand Exchange. In fact, it almost certainly is cheaper. But it was at the stage where I was trying to get those shards, or whatever they were called, in order to make combination capes for having 99s in certain skills, and to get the shards you then had to do those relevant skills till eventually you received one, and so for summoning I just did steel titans until eventually I got the shard I wanted, but otherwise there would be more of those, but they've now been converted into the titans. So there we go, guys. Unfortunately I could probably finish this off in another 5-6 minutes, but we've hit the 16-minute mark. You know what, I'm going to finish it. Let's be really quick about it, though. I know the way that YouTube have updated their system, I don't know how recently, but they've updated it since the last time I had a proper look. And they've updated it to an extent where it's really nice now, and you can see what kind of perks I have as a YouTube broadcaster, because, well, it tells me what kind of perks I now have as a long-time member, I think, but also as someone part of a gaming network, and one of those perks that is now very clear to me is that I can post videos way over 15 minutes as long as I want, basically. But it's something that's never been 100% obvious to me until now. Until now, it actually tells me what I can do. For example, I can even live stream on YouTube now, so I wouldn't have to use Twitch if I wanted to. But that's something I'll just use Twitch for. I mean, that's the platform that people go on to for live streaming, so I'll just stick with that. Right, this is going to be worth an awful lot, I think, because I know the coconuts are going to come in at a huge price, and I know the cactus spines are going to come in at a huge price. Everything else I'm not sure of, but this is going to be big, so don't underestimate it, basically. Here we go. There we go, 150 mil. That is an awesome way to come towards the end of this video. So 9.9 million in Crush Nest, 1.6 in Unicorn. Skip those 3, 4, 5, 6 Cactus Spines, 15.7 mil. Grenwolf Spike, 663, 41 million in Morchella Mushrooms, and 7.9 in Potato Cactus, 1.7 in Papaya, 66 million in Coconuts as well. My God. And then we start to get some of these lower ones. Quite a decent number of flax, but only worth 1 million, unfortunately. And 1.7 in Super Compost. I would never have thought of that, actually. You get a hell of a lot of these Super Compost from various places, but they've started to add up, I guess, and they're worth a decent amount now. But let's actually quickly go through these. So, Potato Cactus, if that's something that you're not familiar with, basically I've been getting them by, well, firstly you need to have done desert tasks. I'm not sure up to what point, but there's basically this old man in the desert right next to the Calphite lair, the normal Calphite lair, and he will give you 40 Potato Cactus every single day. And so part of my daily setup, I will then get that Potato Cactus, which is 40 of them. And how much are they worth? 1.8k. So that's basically me picking up 80k, and it takes no more than about 5 seconds. And this is something that I do within my daily task, so it doesn't even seem like I'm going out of my way to do it. And I will show you what I do on a daily basis now, because that has changed slightly. I've got rid of some stuff and I've included some stuff. Morchella mushrooms, cactus spines, and the coconuts. All reasons why everybody should be collecting them as part of their herb run. You're not going to be able to do it, every single time you do a herb run. Morchellas and the coconuts and the spines I do about 2 times a day minimum. Sometimes I think you can squeeze a 3rd time as well. Cactus spines I think you can do a little bit more often if you want to make the special trip for doing it. I usually only do cactus spines when I do coconuts. Also, just to explain the papaya, at some point, for some reason, I needed papaya on a patch in Lolita. I think that's how you said anyway. And so for the time being, I was just collecting the papaya fruit from the tree instead of replanting a coconut. But I have now replanted that coconut. So so that number won't change now anytime soon. And then otherwise, the flax and the molten glass, that's all from things like from the Ring of Wealth. So here we are. Now we are coming to an end. I think I'm going to include this all in my last tab. Hopefully I haven't moved anything else around too much. I can only remember having moved around the wines. But this will be a nice conclusion to the video, especially given that these are worth quite a bit, these pouches. So again, don't underestimate how much this is going to be worth. I mean, I used to come to this point in the video and it used to be worth literally nothing. But now this side of the tab is actually worth quite a bit. So here we go. So the last one was 150ml. This is the absolute final one. And there we go. 37ml, 38ml basically. Certainly not a bad way to end. So 500 in light creatures, something that I get every now from thieving. You get the little cores which you then convert into the light cores, I guess, and then you can make these critters. 46k each, so that's worth doing. Nightmare pouches, 30k each, 15ml in total. Where are the nihils? 11 million in nihils. Something that I've stopped killing recently because the Lanterdime seeds which they used to drop are now, well, not worth as much. They used to be 40k each. So one drop from a nihil of Lanterdime seeds was 160k, and you got them so often, and you still do get them so often, but the Lanterdime seeds are only worth 10k now. So I've stopped going nihils because the only real good drop is the ingredient for making these pouches. 9.6ml in chitin scraps. Not really going Calcite that often anymore. Kind of thought to myself, well, why am I making a special case of going to Calcites to get chitin scraps when I can't even be bothered to pick up things like Infernal Ashes, and some every now and again I can't be bothered to do Dragon Bones either. But there you go, guys. So it was going to be a 4-part video. I have now condensed it into a 3-part video. So this is going to have to be 3 out of 3 instead. And the one thing I didn't include was this money cash pile, but there we go, 225ml.7. That's it, guys. I haven't added it all up, but I'm going to add it all up, and I'm going to put it in an annotation below for you somewhere in this video. But there we go, guys. That is the entire tab done in 3 videos instead. And yeah, that's it. Guys, stay tuned because there will be more videos to come. I want to show you my daily routine. I want to show you the rest of my bank. I also want to do a couple of other things. So if you also have any suggestions, then let me know. But otherwise, guys, until next time, see you around.